You think John Harbaugh really likes football?
And he loves football.
He's a football guy. I noticed a while ago you said that George Kittle drops football in his press conferences a lot. I mean, I knew he did that, but I didn't pick up on it really until you brought that up. And yeah, he likes saying that a lot. But
Yeah.
John Harbaugh took it to a different degree in his Giants press conference. Can we play this real quick? Because this was insane. This man loves football.
Is we have to have guys that love football. I mean, you just have to. It's football. That's what are we here for? You know, what do we do? What is this building for? It's for football. You know, this is a football team, and we need guys that love everything about football. They love the games, they love the practices, they love the weightlifting, they love the meetings, they love the dining hall. You know, they love every part of football, man. And if you love football, guys, if you love football, you're going to want to be here. You're going to want to drive in that parking lot every single day. You're going to want to walk in that through those doors. You want to walk up in those halls. You're going to want to get in front of that tape and watch tape every single day because you're going to be around a bunch of guys that love what you love. They love football.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be doing, football, all the time, every day. And if there's guys, you know, around that don't love football, Joe, we're probably going to let those guys go play somewhere else, you know, because if you don't love football, you're not going to love it here because we'll be doing football. That's the plan.
13 footballs I counted in that minute-long rant about football.
Yeah. Dude loves ball.
He loves ball, man. It's almost like, remember that Dexter's Lab episode? Did you ever watch Dexter's Laboratory back in the day?
God, I can't remember it.
Well, there was one episode where he was brainwashed into remembering some French, and he only knows omelette du fromage, and it's the only thing he could say. So like, he goes to school the next day, and everybody's like, "So Dexter, what's your name?" Omelette du fromage. It feels like after a while, John Harbaugh was like, "We're gonna football, man. Football, 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 football." You know what I'm talking about? Football, football.
Yeah. Implant it in their brains. Like, that's the sport they play. Football. I really love football. It's like Jim Carrey with saying Red Bull and Yes Man. I drink a lot of Red Bull, so I really like Red Bull. Red Bull. Yeah.
That's one. That's one I missed.
Football, man.
Yes, man. I think I started and didn't finish.
Yeah, it was kind of crap. You know, all the funny parts were in the commercials, which happened a lot with comedies back at that time, like before, like with most before, like, you know, the super bads and the knocked ups and the Judd Apatows came along.
But you really didn't mind it. Like, as a kid, you were kind of waiting for it.
Right. Yeah.
It was like, oh, they're going to say that line from the trailer. Can't wait. And I'll act like I'm hearing it for the first time.
Yeah, and it will totally ruin the movie. Yeah, man. Football. The George Kittle says it a lot, though. I haven't counted. He hasn't had a time to. I don't think he's had as many footballs per capita, though. You know what I mean? Like,
he spaces it out.
What?
He spaces it out.
He does. But he'll just go up to a press conference and just start saying, "Yeah, he's a good football player, really good football player, and he loves football. We all love football. I love football. Football."
It kind of reminds me of that, the way John Harbaugh was saying it.
I like to think that that's how the Harbaugh family just interacts. It's just nonstop football.
Yeah, it's Jack, John, and Jim just all at the dinner table. And so, guys, what'd you do today? Football? Oh, we love football. Don't we love football, Dad? Oh, who's got it better than us? Nobody when it comes to football, I tell you.
Yeah, can you pass those mashed potatoes over to me like it's a football?
Like, that's their way of saying, like, thank you. Like, oh, football to you too.
Yeah.
And then their mom is in the kitchen just being like, all right, guys, who wants some turkey? We want some football. Yeah, football here too.
Yeah. When the Harbaugh family goes out to dinner when they were younger and the Harbaugh brothers got their meal and the parents say, "Hey, what do you say to the server?" Football. Not thank you. Football.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Which makes me, I want Hard Knocks so bad for the Chargers because I got to believe that Harbaugh's enthusiasm is just going to be like just a complete opposite of Mike McDaniel, where he's like, "Yeah, we're coming here. We'll play a little football, Justin Herbert, man. Reminds me of Hercules. He's like Ethan Hunt, man, for Mission Impossible. I can't wait." And then Mike McDaniel's like, "I like football. I mean, it's not my life, but I like football." And I wouldn't say Justin Herbert's like Ethan Hunt. I think he's just, a guy that plays quarterback for us.
Let me just say this, though. If I was on a desert island and I was stranded, I would want Justin Herbert by my side. Not because he's shaped like an Adonis, but because he's a really good fisherman and you need to eat when you're on a deserted island. What was your question?
Just your opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa. We're coming to you on a Thursday night, kind of like the old days where me and Steven did podcasts twice a week during the regular week, the weekdays. Where we do Tuesdays and Thursdays. No show on Saturday because I'll be going to FanFest to interview Jung-Hoo Lee, I believe. No, he'll be there. Although a little snafu last night. I think he was getting into LAX and was detained because he didn't have the proper paperwork. But I think everything was resolved. And
well, here's what I gathered from it, and I actually thought it was cool as hell. Can you imagine? Like, well, it's just when you get onto a flight, how hectic is it for you when you're packing up for the airport? You know, I mean, do you have like a checklist? Do you go through it several times? Because when we're leaving for the airport, it's goddamn chaos in this place. Making sure that you have a belt, you have your phone charger, you have this, you have that. Jung-Hoo Lee has
phone, wallet, keys. That's all you need.
Jung-Hoo Lee has people to take care of that for him. And they just happen to forget the paperwork. It's not Jung-Hoo Lee's fault. His name is at the front of it, and it's him, but it's his people who made the mistake. And I just think it's so damn cool. That's the coolest thing ever.
What, that you're, I'm not going to say servants, but you're, I guess, like henchmen? Yeah, assistants. Assistants messed up for you?
Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Okay.
Just like, what happened at the airport there? The guy who works for me, the guy I pay, totally botched it, fired him. I'll get someone else.
I guess you could say the same thing for Otani, who was like, yeah, my guy screwed up. Paid this guy to help me out with, giving or translating for me. Instead, he went around town and just placed a bunch of bets with my money.
Allegedly.
Even
though it's not allegedly, it's pretty set in stone, but who knows? I just think it's cool.
You changed your tune now? There's a little bit of time there where you believe that all that stuff was true.
Yeah, a little bit.
You changed your tune now. Okay.
Who was it that I was listening to? Like, it reminds me, it was on Polar's podcast because I need that for a little pick me up in my life. It's just so positive. It's nice to listen to something that it's not just constant bickering. Sometimes
that's like smart list for me.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to hear what's your favorite kind of tea? But like Jennifer Lawrence was talking about how she feels old because her assistant, when her and her assistant were talking, because her assistant was helping her throw out some clothes. And I'm like, that's so cool. Just to have someone throw out.
No,
clothes.
You know what? I disagree because like that's just like an everyday life thing. That's like a human being thing. You need an assistant for that?
I mean, I'm sure the assistant does many other jobs for JLo.
You need to come to, I'm assuming, her house and help her out with throwing out clothes?
Yeah.
You can't do that on a weekend when you're not doing a photo shoot or a movie?
I don't know. I don't know what goes on in these celebrities' lives, Derek. I can't. I didn't have any follow-ups, and nor did Amy Poehler.
Fair enough. Jung-Hoo Lee will be there, and yeah, a small little thing. I think Don Lemon was up in arms last night, doing a video about it, but it wasn't. Yeah, Don Lemon, does he have a job now? I think he just does a YouTube channel where he gets angry about things in the country, and he was mad about Jung-Hoo Lee getting detained. And it might have been Jung-Hoo Lee's fault, but whatever. It's all good.
Don Lemon. Wow.
Don Lemon, man. Don Lemon. I'll be busy this Saturday, but we're doing a podcast tonight, and we'll do our picks for conference championship game. And we'll do everything tonight we usually do on Saturdays. We'll do Pop Culture Catch-Up and Jackass of the Week. We got the Oscar nominations. We'll talk about that a little later. Yeah. And the Warriors just wrapped up, and they lost a bad game to the Dallas Mavericks. And, we talked about it last podcast, the injury to Jimmy Butler out for the season, torn ACL. And now Kuminga's back in the fold, playing minutes. He played the other night against the Raptors. You and I spoke about it in real time. Tonight, he plays and hurts his ankle. And I was actually playing fairly well. 9 minutes, 10 points, 3 for 3. but he suffered a twisted ankle, and I didn't see the update here. I don't know if Steve Kerr said anything in the post game, but
an MRI tomorrow.
MRI tomorrow, fantastic. So this guy doesn't heal fast, and we are, 2 weeks away from the trade deadline? And judging by Mike Dunleavy Jr.'s press conference, I don't think they're in a rush to trade him right now. So everything's going to shit for the Warriors right now.
I mean, if you want to put it that way, yeah.
I mean, how else could you right now?
Yeah. Even beyond the whole Kuminga thing, the season went to shit when Jimmy Butler went down with a knee injury. When his knee buckled, that's when the Warriors season was done. And I understand, like, there's still a few months left, right? And I understand the notion that saying something like that, saying that the season is done when you still got months left and anything can happen, totally understandable if you still want to keep your hopes up and feel like the Warriors can do something. But even with the way they were playing right now, you're thinking, oh, they're keeping it up. Maybe they could get the 6th seed, right? Like the 6th seed is what felt like a not a successful season for the Warriors, but it was certainly a step in the right direction. And without Butler, at best, it feels like you're going to be a play-in team. It's hard not to think big picture. So I'm trying to be honest with myself, beyond, my regular job where I'm going to be reporting on the games day after day each time they play, beyond the, professional job that I have, like just as a Warriors fan, I'm still evaluating how I'm watching this season. Like, am I watching it because this could be Steve Kerr's swan song? Am I watching it because I just want to see Steph Curry play basketball, which, I mean, I think that's a good enough reason to watch Warriors basketball anyway. And it might be that. It might be, without thinking of the big picture and without thinking of where the Warriors are going, just try to enjoy a night like tonight where Steph was actually awesome through 3 quarters or whatever it was. And then in the 4th, the Mavs kind of took over. The defense was just the defense has just been a sieve these past couple of games. The thing on Ian Eagle on the Prime Video broadcast called it the Swiss cheese defense for the Warriors, which is not good.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. And yeah, Steph Curry finishes tonight with 34 points. Draymond Green fouled out. 38 points, played 34 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Steven, as far as wanting to hang on to the last few years of Steph Curry basketball on the Warriors. But it's also hard to watch where he's playing this great and he's also so just frustrated.
Totally.
Because you're watching him when they know they're going to lose this game and he's just on the bench with his head in a towel. And he knows, this is kind of dwindling away here. Not only this season, but his career. And I'm never going to say a season's over. I mean, I probably have in the past, but that's just so melodramatic. I know I said the season's going to shit, but when you say a season's over, what does that mean? Does it mean, it's over before it's even began? Or is it the same result as it is right now that's going to be at the end of the year? Because right now, they're the 8th seed? So by that definition, yeah, the season's going to be the same, where I think their best case scenario is a play-in team. Are they going to be out of the playoffs entirely? Playoffs, play-in? I have no idea. But the expectations for this team is championship or bust. Now, that's because of the remaining years of Steph Curry. But if you're asking me, I came into the season thinking that they weren't going to win a championship. They can't compete with these younger teams. And we can only go big picture on this. When it comes to evaluating this young roster, I mean, yeah, I would like to plan for the future, but everything you hear from this organization is they're planning for the end. And they would love to have a carryover to the post-Steph Curry era, but they've botched that so poorly. And I know that's why Joe Lacob's just hanging on to Kuminga, or wants to hang on to Kuminga, and he's even irritated that he fakes an injury against OKC. But you're at a I mean, I don't know. There's nothing there right now. I saw today Jake Fisher had the report that the Warriors still have this pipe dream of trading for Giannis and signing LeBron James this offseason. And I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't even know if that's good enough to compete with OKC. It would be huge, but what would you have to give up to get Giannis at this point? And I don't think the Bucks, we'll see if they trade him at the deadline. Because last night they lost to OKC by 20, and he was very blunt in the post game, just being like, we're selfish. We don't move the ball around. We don't do the proper things. I've been on a really good team. This is not a really good team. We're playing against really good teams. So I don't know. I'm at a loss for words because I think the Warriors are at a loss for words right now.
Yeah, especially with whatever happens to Kuminga too, because he was playing well these past couple of games. And I think what I kind of define as season is over is when you had Jimmy Butler and they were rolling. They won 12 of, I think, 16, and obviously a bulk of those were at home against some kind of, middling subpar opponents. But it felt like if they would continue playing the way that they were playing, and they really did find a groove, like all the way until Jimmy's knee buckled, you're thinking, okay, well, if they're not in the play-in tournament and they do manage to make it to become a top 6 team, like if you have Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and you're in the playoffs, like I don't care what who the other teams are in the Western Conference, you're always going to have a chance. Like last year, had Steph not got hurt, like I am adamant in saying that they were going to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves after what they did against Houston. I'm adamant with that. I truly
Maybe.
Like the way that Curry was just lighting him up before he went down with the injury. I was fully confident that they would have done that. So without Jimmy, if they do get at best a play-in, even then, I mean, they're fighting an uphill battle already. And even if they had Jimmy and they were a play-in team, I still wouldn't feel good about their playoff chances. But if they made it higher than a play-in spot with Jimmy, then yes, I think they would have at least had a chance. But with no Jimmy, it just feels like that chance has just floated away. So that's kind of what my definition is when a season is over type thing.
Yeah. And I mean, before this injury, I thought that maybe they could have been a 6th seed, 5th seed, but still going to lose eventually, second round conference finals. So I don't know.
Yeah, right. But it's also we're on the other side of it now, where while the Warriors were going on this dynastic run, a lot of teams were trying to build for the future, and a lot of them have now, and it's really starting to pay off. And you're seeing the Warriors start to decline, and I think that's a harsh reality. Like that's like a huge pill that's tough to swallow.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. I mean, I'm not angry. It's just it's frustrating because you want to talk about this team, but it's hard to, in my opinion.
Sure.
Where you want to talk about Steph and you want to talk about him being in contention, but I can't justify it right now. And there's just so many other things. Like, okay, you brought up Kuminga.
Yeah.
He played well tonight, and he played well against Toronto. But it's the same
deal. They gave up 145 points, right?
Exactly. They lost by 18 points. And it's the same deal where they got blown out in the playoffs, and he had 30 points.
Sure.
And I hate when people the next day are like, see, that's why you need to play this guy. Now, I can justify playing him until the trade deadline, because what else do you have at this point? You need a guy like him, so play him. But there's already been so much damage done between him and Steve where it just feels so weird. And just because he gave you 20 points, an 18-point loss, does not preclude you from trading him. But now that he twisted his ankle and the market was not great in the first place, I don't know if you should trade him, especially after Mike Dunleavy Jr. said, can we pull up the clip, Stephen, of the other night? And people said, like, oh, this was a sick burn. I think just Mike Dunleavy was just talking and telling the truth. Obviously, Kuminga has demanded a trade. The reports are there's not a lot out there. The Kings are interested. The Mavericks are interested, and they just lost to them tonight. The offer that's on the table, it sounds like since the summertime, has been Malik Monk, and now they're adding Keon Ellis. Plus, they want draft picks. Or they'll give you draft picks, I guess. I'm not sure. And then there's this whole new thing where Shams is throwing out DeMar DeRozan. I'm like, why? Ugh. DeMar DeRozan?
Listen, man, mid-range jumpers.
Yeah. How old is he? 36? And I guess you get rid of him at the end of the year. It only costs you like $10 million, as that's what Sam Amick told me. But Can we play the clip real quick of Mike Dunleavy Jr.? Because I don't think now I'm starting to feel like they're not going to do anything at the deadline. Like, and that would be a hard pill to swallow for Warriors fans that want to contend. And I'm with you that it's hard to see this team decline, but I'm kind of used to it at this point where we're 10 years after the fact from the first championship and they've won 4. And I've told you a long time ago when we started doing this podcast, not started doing this podcast, but after they won the 4th championship, I'm content. I'm happy. But I know that a lot of Warriors fans want more. And I get that. You want to have a nice storybook ending for Steph Curry's career, but most of the time it doesn't end that way. You don't get the Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's career didn't end that way. He was told, you got to do it all by yourself in 1999. Everybody else needs to go away. Phil Jackson, Dennis Rodman, Steve Kerr, they all need to go away for you to be successful again. What?
It's the longest sound toss ever. Like, God damn it. Let me play the Dunleavy.
Dude, I was tap dancing. I didn't see you pull it up.
No, it's right here.
Oh, okay, here we go. I'm sorry. I was filibustering for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as the demand, I'm aware of that. I think when in terms of demands, when you make a demand, there needs to be demand on the market. So we'll see where that unfolds. But heard, always with these guys, I tell them I'm willing to work with them, want to help people out, whether that's JK or any player on our roster. So we're good with, if that's his wishes, trying to figure that out. But we got to do what's best for our organization. And
Okay, I see what you did there. You didn't have like a Twitter clip.
Yeah.
I was going on and on and on and on. That's a good line by Mike Dunleavy Jr., but I think some people are like, ooh, damn, calling out Kuminga. He didn't call him out. He's just speaking real right there. Yeah, there isn't a demand on the market for him. You have to have a demand in order to make a demand. And, dude, I've said this before, but I'm so sick of Aaron Turner. And I love the way that Sam Amick put it the other day when he was on with me and Copes, where he's not well liked by many people in the NBA. And I don't know if he represents more than just Kuminga, but the way he goes about things is just nauseating. And you know what? We talk about Kuminga a lot, and I feel bad because I feel like I'm going after him when I shouldn't, where he's just a young kid, really. And he's gotten bad advice, probably to how to handle things with Steve Kerr and the whole organization. But he's just trying to find his place in the NBA. But also, he's not a superstar. And if this was any other team, then I understand it. But this is an established organization that has won 4 championships, and you don't get to come in and dictate how things are run. And I know that some people are tired of Steve Kerr and the way the offense is, but I think he's entitled to feel that way because he's established. Steph Curry's established. Draymond Green's established. And by the way, I think we know how Steve feels about him. I think we know how Draymond feels about him. We definitely know how Joe Lacob feels about him and Jimmy Butler. Do you really know how Steph Curry feels about Kuminga? Because he kind of plays it cool, like he's a young kid. I'm trying to help him out. But we see him on the court. He looks frustrated as hell. So I think that he plays a hand in this as well.
Yeah, and really the most that we've seen Steph Curry show his frustration is with the agent, right? That was last year.
Well, not only that, but you and I bring this clip all the time. One of the last games of the regular season last year against Portland, Kuminga comes up the court, blows off Steph Curry, and Steph throws his hands up in the air like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. It's the agent thing. It's the bad advice. Like, that's what's gotten me, man. And I think we've said this on the podcast even before, but it's not like a problem with Kuminga himself. It's an inspiring story. He had himself some lofty goals. He won a championship when he was, I think he just turned 20 years old. Maybe he was 19 when they won the title, but he won a championship his rookie year. And I mean, he comes from the Congo, and he had goals of, being one of the guys that's on the banner next to Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green at the practice facility. Like, he said he wanted to be those guys. And it just feels like the stuff that goes back to the Shams Charania article where he's citing sources, Kerr is stunting his development, and Kuminga just doesn't feel like he's the right fit there. And even though Kuminga was quoted directly, I don't know if it was in that article or a couple of articles later, I just think he's gotten some terrible advice from that guy. And
he has.
I really do. And I mean, you just take it to take it to the contract negotiation this summer. Like, what's it like for the Warriors dealing with his agent? You know, like they seem to. I don't think they have a problem with Kuminga the person at all. Like as far as we've heard, like Kuminga the guy, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yes and no.
Really? Okay. Well, fine.
Well, I'm just saying the fact that it sounds like he faked an injury and things last year with the playoff series in Houston.
Yeah. But like, there's just something where they're operating with this agent of his, and I think it goes back to the contract negotiation too, where he said, you know what, we'll wait it out. We'll wait it out. This is what we want. We're going to wait it out till the very end, right until that deadline. And then as soon as that deadline hits, they're going to bend over and bend the knee, and they are going to give you what you want. Not bend over. That's weird. They're going to bend the knee and give you what you want. And what did he get? The exact contract that he didn't want, the one that they were fighting against, the one that they were holding out on, the one that they said that they were going to accept a qualifying offer if I was going to get this type of contract, which was the contract, which was a 2-year deal with a team option, which
it's Brandon Ayuk negotiations 101.
Yeah, except at least Brandon Ayuk got what he wanted, and then just.
But it was the same contract that was on the table for a while.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think about Steve Kerr, and I've brought it up to you, and when I'm on Dirty Work and asking Marcus Thompson or Sam Amick or even JD, like, is Steve having fun? Because Steve was always about playing with joy, and that's something that Kevin Durant mocked him for. But it doesn't. Like, I watch the games, and Steve's engaged, but when you hear him, it's different this year. I don't know what it is, but it feels like Steve is just kind of detached a little bit, and I think he loves this team. I think he loves coaching Steph. I think to a degree he loves coaching Draymond, but he drives him fucking crazy sometimes. But I think he loves basketball, but he hates all the bullshit that comes with it. And I never thought that he was going to coach for this long, especially after he had that the botched back surgery in his second season where Luke Walton had to step in. I thought, how long is he going to do this? And then Luke's going to have to step in here. But he's been around for 10 years. He dealt with Kevin Durant, and at the time, we all loved that move because it led to winning, but they had their problems. And then, of course, Draymond's issues, the Jordan Poole situation, Kuminga, more stuff with Draymond, stuff with the owner. And I think it's just taking its toll on Steve. And it doesn't surprise me at all when I see a report from Logan Murdoch saying that some people in the Warriors coaching staff are anticipating Steve Kerr leaving. And I'm not surprised with the way he talks this year and being very real, saying we're a fading dynasty. And I don't think we compete with these younger teams. He's just being honest. But I think he wants to compete. I think he wants to coach Steph Curry. So if you're asking me today, do I think that Steve's going to walk away after this season? I think he wants to, but I don't think he's going to, because I think he wants to be there for Steph's last year.
Agreed.
So I think he's just going through it, not going through the motions, because that makes it sound like he doesn't care. He does care. It's just like it's a mixed bag where he's just like, ugh, this is not as fun as it used to be, but I still love this team.
It feels like he's had fun for 4 months out of the last 4 years. And those 4 months, last year, as soon as they traded for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
That's as much joy as I've heard Steve Kerr talk with, or coach with even, just because he's like, everything's falling into place now. Like, we got our guy. And before, it's just nonstop every year since really they drafted Wiseman with the 2nd overall pick. It's just been not every year. It's just problem, contract, injury, something that you have to deal with where you're just like, what? I mean, I know we won 4 championships, so can we just have a smooth transition here into this next phase where we're all going to be riding off into the sunset? It's just every year there's something that's going on that's kind of out of his control, but he's also the one that has to answer for it. Some things are in control. Like the Kuminga thing is in part with him because for whatever reason, he couldn't make it work. Like it's got to be a two-way street there. I'm not going to just put it fully on Kuminga, but it's also on Kerr as well.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't seem like he's having fun. And I don't know, he doesn't sound like a coach that wants to stick around for another year. But I do wonder too, like, was Joe Lacob just saying, no, Steve Kerr has done enough and earned the right to where he doesn't have to have an answer right now. He can wait out the entire year. Like, I wonder if that's true, or maybe something happens towards the end where they're just saying, like, Steve, we're going to go in a different direction now. Can you just retire?
Well, you're seeing it across sports. It's not just the NFL right now where you're firing longtime coaches, or even like Mike Tomlin steps down.
Yeah.
They fired John Harbaugh or Sean McDermott. Even after winning a championship just 2 seasons ago, the Denver Nuggets said goodbye to Michael Malone. I think it's where, after a while, the same message gets old and stale, and the true veterans of the team still value that, but doesn't resonate with the younger guys. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if at the end of the year they have a meeting and Joe wants to hear Steve say, I'm leaving. Joe will never tell Steve you're gone. I don't believe that. But I think that if there was a meeting between him, Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy Jr., and Steve Kerr, and Joe says, Steve, what do you want to do? And he says, I think it's time we go away. We go our separate ways. I think Joe Lacob would finish before he even said it. Said, yep, I agree too, and shakes his hand. And I don't think that, you're seeing it across sports as well when it comes to younger coaches. Like, I think there's a reason why they went with Tony Vitello with the Giants. It's not because he's a young guy himself. He's up there. I mean, he's relatively young, but 47 years old, going to be 48. It's because he can relate to younger players because he coached college. I mean, you're seeing today, like, 42-year-old Jesse Minter gets the job with the Baltimore Ravens as opposed to John Harbaugh, who's in his 60s. So I think when they do make that transition to the post-Steph Curry era, they probably will go with a younger coach. But if they're still trying to win while Steph's around, he signs a contract extension, we'll be the least bit surprised if they make Terry Stotts the next head coach. But I don't know right now. I think that when it comes to Steve, I think we'll get a good idea of where he's going, because I remember a year ago, he signed a contract extension. No, it was 2 years ago because he signed a two-year extension. I believe so. It was right after the All-Star break. He signed an extension. And I got to believe that they have to get something done before the regular season ends or the playoffs. If they go into a press conference at the end of the year and Steve says, I don't know what we're doing next year, that gets really awkward.
Yeah.
And usually coaches don't go into lame duck years, but this is the way Steve Kerr wants it. So everything's weird. And I think it was kind of this whole process of maybe the end was expedited by Jimmy Butler tearing his ACL. But I got to believe that Joe Lacob just can't sit idly by and just wait for the end. I think he's going. I don't think he'll ever be content as an owner, whether it's this season or making a huge deal at the trade deadline. They're going to be active, I believe. So they could just let this go by February 6th or February 5th, I think is the trade deadline.
Yeah.
But I got to believe that with Steph Curry in his last year with the Warriors, potentially, that they'll go all out. But I don't know what that means, or I don't even know if that's feasible.
Well, and we won't know until tomorrow when Jonathan Kuminga gets that MRI, and depends on what happens. Like, what if this is it did not look good. Like, it almost looked similar to Butler's, except a little less intense, obviously. But it landed awkwardly. His ankle did, or his knee did. I think he was getting an MRI on both the knee and ankle.
Great.
So it depends on that. But I wouldn't be surprised if, Joe Lacob's been working the phones for new head coaches. Maybe with the guy whose closet you stole that hat from, old Michael Malone.
Well, it'd be a Nuggets hat.
Exactly. But
yeah,
same style. You look like the hat style, because you didn't really change.
Don't tell me I look like Michael Malone. You told me I look like Brian Daboll. Now you can tell me I look like Michael Malone.
You haven't let that go. That was just one time. But the way that your hat is fashioned, you haven't really had much done with it. You keep the bill straight. I imagine, right?
I don't usually fold my bills. No.
Yeah, nothing fancy. Just like Michael Malone at the playoff parade, man. Championship parade.
He was trying to act like a Beastie Boy from back in the day.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's get loud, huh?
Yeah.
Brucey B ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, the Brooklyn was coming out for
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely was. Which I'm shocked he's not the Knicks head coach, but I guess Mike Brown's doing a good job with them right now.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
From Ernie too, who aged more, Kyle or Kerr, these past 6 years?
I mean, they both did. Like
The
I
last
love people,
6 years, I think it's Kyle.
well, people are showing that clip of him from the combine where he looks younger. Yeah, he was like 38 back then, and now he's 46.
No, I do hate that. It's the Mitch Hedberg joke. The Mitch Hedberg joke, where he's like, someone came up to me with a camera. They said, "Hey, can I take a picture?" And then I was like, "Yeah, sure." And they took my picture, and they said, "Cool. Do you have a photo of when you were younger?" And I'm like, "Yeah, every single photo of me is when I was younger."
Yeah, I will say this though. I think we'll see about Kuminga. I mean, if he's significantly hurt, then that hurts his trade stock. I wonder if there's a way they could trade him and with him still being injured, but I don't know. I just don't want to act like I'm not going to act like this, but I think some people will. Like, well, he's the guy that could save the season now, and that's not the case. Like I said this the other day on the radio, but the Warriors fans, and I'm saying this with a Warriors hat on, so I'm one of these people. But you guys used to be cool, and now it's like really lame, man. Like Run TMC, you guys were cool. We Believe, cool. Championship years, cool. This new Warriors fan base that's all on social media complaining about Kuminga, lame as hell. That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, but they've skewed younger, like much like Kyle Shanahan.
I know,
and
but
Steve Kerr, we've gotten older too.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of people who just don't understand, and I'm not even going to act like I fully understand it. Like I didn't get into watching Warriors basketball in full until really Steph Curry got drafted. We Believe was really an influential thing. Everyone was all about the Lakers when I was growing up. You didn't even, I mean, the Warriors, there was a few people with Warriors jerseys on, you had the Baron Davis or whatever. Some had Larry Hughes, but for the most part, it was Kobe. It was all about Kobe and Shaq at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to act like I'm some long-suffering Warriors fan who understands the great timeout days and all that, but I do appreciate the history. But to be honest, my British parents just didn't grow up like loving basketball all that much. So like that was a big part of it. But a lot of them are this younger generation. Man, I remember when, I don't know if I should say this, but whatever, I'm gonna. When we were at 95.7 and we had the French dude who created like the Steph Curry fan page, and he had like a hundreds of thousands of followers. I
don't remember that.
I don't remember his name. Honestly, I don't. I don't know where he's at. But then you bring him on, and you don't know what he looks like. You don't know anything about him. You just say, "Hey, can you come on?" And then he's just like this 18-year-old who didn't start watching Warriors basketball until the Warriors started winning championships, and you couldn't really talk about him much with him because you just didn't know anything. He knew Steph. He knew he loved Steph, which is great. Created a really popular page out of it. But when you actually talked basketball with him, you couldn't, because he just didn't really have much to add. And I think you get quite a bit of that with people who just kind of got around to it when they started winning championships. So, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from with that.
I guess that's just.
I think it's a small portion of that of the fan base, though, the one that's really online, right?
Yeah, but it's the one we unfortunately feed into a lot.
Yeah,
and I hate that, but it is what it is. It just makes this team kind of unlikable at times. I don't even blame anybody on the team. It's just the way that it's talked about. But whatever. So we'll see what happens. We'll get an update on Kuminga tomorrow, and I'm not holding my breath now that they're going to trade him. So we'll see what happens with the remainder of this Warriors season.
God, dude, AJ's giving a comment as if my granddad is speaking from the grave.
Oh, Steven.
Turn the telly to the cricket match. That's a good lad. That's a good lad. Yeah.
Why'd say GB at the end?
Great Britain, I guess.
Okay. But like he was able to get the font that small?
Yo, yeah, that's the no, what are you talking about? What?
The GB at the end.
All you see is GB?
Yeah.
From my end, it's the Union Jack flag. Yeah.
That's all I get on my thing, yeah.
It's a flag.
Oh.
All you get is GB?
That's all I see.
Wow.
Is that my computer just not being updated?
I think so.
It was a flag, Derek. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the Union Jack.
No,
By the way,
I
this is a
literally
random thing.
just see a GB.
I feel like we're gonna move on here. I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm like using an Allen wrench. I just have one next to my desk and I'm fiddling with it because I've just set up a bunch of things that need Allen wrenches. But I just have been catching up with the American Revolution documentary, the Ken Burns one, right? It's like
Ken Burns, baby.
yeah. I'm like 2 episodes in because they're like 2.5 hours if you include the PBS commercials, and I recorded it on YouTube TV, so I got to the commercials too.
Okay.
But I was always made fun of, even though I'm an American person, but I have a British family. When we learned about the American Revolution in 8th grade, I was called Redcoat for a year, right? And I still get it. I still get it every now and then when, I crack a good joke and then they guys say, "Hey, Steve, when's Paul Revere coming?" Like a stupid shit like that. And
who the hell says that?
Friends. I learned in this documentary that there was a large portion of the English people who were just back on their homeland in the United Kingdom who did not want to go to war. As a matter of fact, they said when the Americans wanted independence and they wanted the 13 colonies, that they were fine with it. Like, they were confused as to why Britain was still fighting to keep that land. Like, no, just come back home. You're good. So I'd like to think that my ancestors were just back in the United Kingdom during the American Revolution, just drinking whatever ale they had and just cracking stupid jokes the whole time. That's what I like to imagine.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I like to think all the Langfords were pretty laid back.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
My dad did one of those ancestry things, and like the earliest Langford was a leather worker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. None of that handiwork has been passed down to me. I barely know how to work.
What's the point? You got the Allen wrench.
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
Nice. As far as putting a bow on the 49ers, they had their end of the year press conference the other day with Kyle and John, and some things that came out of that. They definitely want to get younger. They definitely want to get more speed on the field. They acknowledge the substation, but John Lynch, with his usual coach speak, just like, we look into everything, Eric Branch. And I'm sure Kyle was like, like they have a good relationship, Eric Branch and Kyle Shanahan, but I understand why you asked the question. I don't hate the question. It's just the substation thing's ridiculous to me. That whole narrative is insane. They just need to stay healthy. That's the bottom line. They need to stay healthy.
Dude, the fact that he even answered it. John Lynch is such a politician at these end of season press conferences. It's like an art form. And even that he answered with a political answer. Like, he did not want to say anything defiant. No, we're going to look into, we look into everything. It's like, it was like he was asked about a trade. No, we look into everything. We hire a lot of good people
and that's why he's a good GM.
Yeah. Who take a look into that sort of thing. And
when we all know they think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the truth is that, they, even though they had a great season, they are a ways away from the Seahawks and the Rams, maybe closer to the Rams because of Stafford. We'll see how long he plays. And you got Devontae Adams. But as far as youth, I mean, they got Puka Nacua for a while. They got a lot of members on that defense that are going to be young. And then Seahawks, that whole team is young. So the 49ers need to upgrade. But I will say this. There's this notion out there from 49ers fans and media members that think that they can get Justin Jefferson this offseason. And I'm here to tell you they cannot. That is not happening. Okay? That's not happening. I don't know why that's a thing right now, but why in the hell would the Minnesota Vikings trade Justin Jefferson away? It makes no sense. They have a bad quarterback. They want to trade away their wide receiver? Come on now. So I don't know why that's being brought up. Are you with me on that one, Steven, or am I angry man?
I don't think you're that angry.
I think I'm just being reasonable, huh?
I think we are in a time, Derek, where we don't know anything about what teams are willing to do. So we could just throw anything out there. And would they need Justin Jefferson? Yeah, of course they would. Are they going to actually?
So would every team.
Yeah. Are they going to complete the trade? Probably not, because they can't. It's like, God, I don't know where that really came from. There's a lot of that going out there. Whatever. If they want to make their trade proposals, fine.
Yeah, but I will say this, and I don't think this is going to happen either, but if you ask me what's more likely, would the 49ers trade for Justin Jefferson or Max Crosby? No, if you had to put a gun to my head, I'd probably say Max Crosby because I
Ooh.
think the Raiders will listen to that. I do think they're going to listen to offers this offseason. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I do think it's on the table. And as far as
One day, the gun to your head metaphor is going to, it's going to come back to haunt you. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying anyone who uses that term. Like, what if you use that on sports radio and then a random listener comes up and puts a gun to your head and says that you should
Jesus,
answer a take?
it's definitely on the table with our society these days. Okay,
You never
never mind.
know. You
Okay.
never know.
If I had to pick one, I guess that's better than gun to my head. But I think that the Raiders organization has always been against trading with the 49ers. And now that they're in different states, it doesn't make it even better, but it can make it a little easier. So when it comes to Tom Brady and John Spytek going to Mark Davis saying the best offer on the table is the 49ers, I think you'd say, all right, let's pull the trigger here. At the same time, I don't think the 49ers are in a position to be trading away first-round picks. So I don't know. I don't think either are happening. But as far as stuff that came out of the press conference that we can say with certainty, I think Gus Bradley's going to be your defensive coordinator. It sounds like that's going to happen. And I don't know if that's the greatest move, but it makes sense to have continuity with where the 49ers were a year ago and the way that their defense has always been. And I think that Kyle had that plan from the get-go with hiring Saleh. And I mean, the guy that taught Robert Saleh was Gus Bradley. Although some people say he hasn't been a great defensive coordinator of late. Yeah, I get that, especially when there's other guys available right now, like Raheem Morris or potentially Jim Schwartz if he doesn't get the Browns head coaching gig. But I understand why they're going with this. It could just be to keep things simple for the defense, make things easier for Fred Warner and everybody. So if I had to guess, that's where I think they're going, where Gus Bradley's going to be your DC.
Did you hear the way Fred Warner talked about him in the locker room cleanup stuff?
No, I did not.
He loves Gus Bradley. I think.
Well, there you go.
I think Gus Bradley's the next guy. And
Yeah.
it's all about continuity, right? Like I think what they want more than anything is stability, because I don't think they want to look for a new defensive coordinator next season. I really don't know what the 49ers think of next year. The Super Bowl window, whatever. I'm done with the Super Bowl window. Who cares about a Super Bowl window, whether it's open or not? I think I read like a Raiders guy who even talked about like their championship window. I'm like, what championship window are you talking about? It was an article relating to Max Crosby, well-written article, but then at the end, it's like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, I don't even know what they're thinking about going into next season, but maybe 2 years from now, they feel like they could contend for a Super Bowl again if they build the team with the right pieces around them and they give their rookies another year of development. Maybe next year, I don't know what kind of mindset they're going into it with as far as their team expectations, but I think what they also want is a second year of going into it with a defensive coordinator, which they haven't had now in 4 straight seasons. So, or now going on a 5th or whatever it is. So, yeah, exactly, Dom. Raiders window to what? I don't know. I do not know, my guy. I have no clue. Like, what window? There's not even a window. There's no house.
No, they need to establish a foundation.
You know what? It's very appropriate that they play in Las Vegas because they cannot open the windows at the hotels over there. And there's no window opening or closing for the championship for a Super Bowl.
Is that a thing where you can open windows in hotels?
Yeah.
Why is that? So hard?
You tried opening a window in Vegas? You can't. I don't think.
Really?
Pretty sure you can't. I think I learned that from The Hangover.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm going to look it up.
There's nothing to it? Okay.
I'm kind of just saying that as if it's a fact when I don't really know. I think I heard it somewhere in a movie.
Most hotels, you can't open windows. Don Peralta's saying that. Really? Maybe it's not just a Vegas thing.
Is this common knowledge that we need to have?
I'm pretty sure you can open a window in a hotel.
Windows. How many hotels on the Strip have operable windows? I'm going to the Reddit page, the subreddit for Las Vegas.
Okay.
Tropicana was unique that it was one of the few with windows that actually opened that are not sliding balcony doors. After this place closes down, which hotels still have windows that open? I am assuming they are all balcony units now. Also, is it true they sold all the windows as well as the items in the rooms in 2 public sales, or are our remaining items still up for grabs online? Flat screen TVs, clock radios, and lamps? Wow.
All right. Anyway, as far as the 49ers press conference, yeah, Gus Bradley's going to sound like it sounds like he's going to be your defensive coordinator. It sounds like Kyle does not want to trade Mac Jones, but I would not be the least bit surprised if they do because he is their best trade asset this offseason. I understand that he was big time and he filled in for 8 games and played great and rejuvenated his career, but if you get a second-round pick for him, and let's be honest, this draft class sucks when it comes to quarterbacks, and there's a lot of QB-needy teams. If someone's offering you a second-round pick, I would take that. You got to believe that at some point Curtis Rourke's going to be a good backup. I know that they drafted him, and I guess he was hurt already, but he was good for Indiana. So there has to be a point where he could be your backup. And then lastly, Brandon Ayuk's gone. Like they said that it's been that case for a while now, and they acknowledge that it's a sad situation. It's an unfortunate situation. It's a situation they really don't understand still. Kyle, went into detail, not that much, but just like I couldn't get a hold of him. And after a while, you're like, okay, it's not worth it anymore. And John Lynch said the same thing. I'm at the point now where I don't know what's going to happen with Brandon Ayuk at his career. I think that the initial reaction from my standpoint was, okay, well, you're just so angry with Kyle. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you felt you were able to come back sooner than they did. I would love to hear his side of the story. Maybe he'll sit down with Ryan Clark this offseason on the Pivot podcast. But he seems to me like a guy that just hated being with the Niners. Even when he signed the contract, there was that whole thing with his shorts on the practice field that he flipped out about, throwing a temper tantrum like a child. And then there's all these videos where he's speeding past Levi's. I don't know. It just seems like a weird situation. He hated the Niners so much that he wanted to forego all of his money and just get the fuck out of there. And there's a part of me also that's like, is there something wrong? I don't want to speculate too much, but it kind of feels like an Antonio Brown situation where I don't know what's going on with him. So that's all I'll say about that for the time being.
Yeah, and I think this is another case with having the right people around you. Clearly, he doesn't have the right people around him. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe this is a thing with him. But what he did to the 49ers, just kind of hijacking the offseason by kind of making it about him and his contract and getting $30 million per year, a 4-year, $120 million deal. I just can't imagine any human wanting to throw that away. Have you seen the movie The Rip yet?
I have not. I'm debating if I want to see it.
Well, it's fine. It's a nice little movie, but I'll tell you though, and this is not spoiling anything, so don't worry. This isn't a spoiler.
All good.
But the money that they are after, the money that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are policemen, and the money that they are seizing, a rip as they call it, is much lower than the $30 million mark. And even though it's a lot of money for them to take. And it's just, I don't think we can comprehend how much $30 million actually is. And for someone just to throw it all away, just like that, and to set the organization that gave you that money to set them back, I don't know if it's a problem with him. I don't know if the team treated him in such a way where he said, I made 30 million, but I hate all of you. Well, what the hell happened, man? It's so bizarre. And
yeah,
I don't think it's something that any of us have an answer for. And I think it's pretty telling that in the nicest way possible, John Lynch said, yeah, he played his last snap for the 49ers. I know we're going to get to the Terry Pagula thing, but Terry Pagula said, yeah, this draft pick was totally our coach's fault. John Lynch is still playing GM when he's talking about this thing. He said it in the nicest way possible, where Shanahan's just honest. I have not seen this in my 22 years of coaching. I don't know what happened. I don't know if we're in a situation now where it's like a Yusuf Nurkic. Like, I hope that brother gets the help that he needs.
Yeah.
But if they are in that type of situation, I hope that he does, because I don't know anyone who's in their right mind who would just turn down $30 million when you are doing something that you've dreamed of ever since you could dream for anything.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be so quick this offseason where he finds a different team. Like even the Commanders, who it seems like he wants to go to badly. I don't know if Debo will be back, but he loves Jaden Daniels, his teammate back in the day at ASU. I got to believe that Adam Peters calls up John Lynch and doesn't get a ringing endorsement. And it has to be the same thing for most teams. I don't think it's going to be where he's coming off a significant knee injury, not just an ACL, but a torn MCL, and it's not good. But he should be healthy at some point. And then he's a headache on top of all that. So I do wonder if Brandon Ayuk will play football again. That's on the table as well. He's young where he can, but I don't know if everything's great in his life where he should be doing that. Anyway, that's the whole thing with the 49ers right now. Before we get to Terry Bagula, and I want to kind of do that more in a segment we usually do on the weekends because that's my guy. I'll just say he's my jackass of the week. So let's save that for a little bit later. As far as Fernando Mendoza being a Raider and being drafted first overall, you know what gave him a ringing endorsement?
Who's that?
Derek Carr.
Oh.
Do you want to play that clip real quick, Steven?
Oh, God. I wasn't ready.
I don't know if you want to hear that. I don't know if most Raider fans want to hear that. But Derek Carr now does his podcast with his brother. And I still believe that maybe Derek's going to come out of retirement and play football in 2026. But and let me know when you got the clip so I don't have to keep going long and long to the toss. But yeah, Derek Carr is a fan of Fernando Mendoza.
So for the record, I want him to be the quarterback. Yeah. Okay. I'm setting the record straight. Yeah. Okay. But I also want them to do so much around him that when he walks in there, he's the greatest Raider of all time. We gotta right some wrongs.
Oh, okay. Let's write them.
I had so many stupid tweets about people saying that the Raiders should not take Mendoza. Drove me absolutely. I even texted Brandon about it. I said,
are you saying because people were giving you a hard time that you said they shouldn't take him?
They said that I said that they should not take him.
Oh, that's not what you said.
I said they should not take him unless they fix everything else.
Exactly. So if you can go spend the money and fix everything else.
So for the record, he should absolutely be the first overall pick, which I said he is the undoubtedly number one overall
especially
pick.
After that scramble on fourth.
It was amazing.
That quarterback run.
I want to see him in silver and black so bad.
Great.
I love him.
That was great.
But I don't want to see him get beat down and see that happy face, not be able to look into that camera during that interview.
Even when his lip got bloody, I was sad.
I was sad. Like he's
don't
the first
hit
player
him
I've
like
actually,
that.
Yeah, don't touch him.
Don't touch him.
Mendoza's the number one overall pick, but in free agency, you better spend every bit of your money to put it around him.
I agree with that. I think that it doesn't surprise me. You know, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, Derek Carr endorses Mr. Goody Two Shoes, Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. We'll talk about the draft this offseason, but like when he's undoubtedly the number one pick in the draft, that's where I'm like, I hear you, but man, I wish there were better options. Because if this is the best option, this is not a good draft class. But if that's the best that the Raiders can do with the first overall pick for the first time in 20 years, then yeah, I'd say go for it. But you said the same thing to me when we were watching the national championship game. You texted me saying, there's no way in hell that Spytek and Brady and Mark Davis could watch this performance of Miami get into Fernando Mendoza, feel comfortable drafting him. And I said to you, yes, he's going to need to be better at handling pressure, but that's not going to stop them from drafting him. And at the same time, they need to improve that offensive line. So they could pull the Chicago Bears and try to go all in on the offensive line in free agency and then make things better for Fernando Mendoza. He's still going to struggle. He's going to be a rookie on a bad team, but that's not going to stop them. So I agree with Derek Carr there that they need to make everything better around him. And that starts with the head coach, which I'll get to in a minute here. But yeah, I agree.
Well, I want to get to Brian Peacock, Locked On 49ers guy, and his quote tweet to this.
We had him on today. I was talking to him.
Bakerfield is a strange town. One of your children might just have a Southern accent for no reason. I'm like, Brian, you have caught on, my man. Each year, Derek Carr has become more Southern. Each year, like his accent has gotten thicker. I keep on. Sorry that I keep on tying things to my personal experience, but I keep on thinking. My memory keeps getting.
Hey man, that's just what all it's about. That's as you know. Amy Poehler talks about. What's your favorite I don't know. You
T.
know the podcast better than me. What?
T.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Back in the day, my brother had a friend growing up, and I hadn't seen him in a long, long time. And then the next time I would see him was when they were old enough to drink, and I think they were at my brother's house for our house for my brother's 21st birthday party or something. And as he's progressively drinking, like he just starts talking like this, hey, and his voice gets more, his accent just becomes more profound, and you're like, what the hell? And he's like, yeah, that happens. I don't know why. He just kind of starts talking like that. I think it just. I don't even know if Derek Carr knows that he's doing it, but his accent just gets more southern, man. Hey, man, Fernando Mendoza, Geno Smith, man, I believe in you, man. I think you're going to be doing good, man.
I kind of feel the same thing about for a while there. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, had a southern accent when he was winning the Super Bowl. Like back in 2010, I thought he had like a southern draw. I don't know where that came from because he's from Chico, but yeah, some guys just have that. I don't know what it is, but it's weird.
Yeah.
Derek's always talked that way.
Yeah. But back to the whole point of it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really going to argue about whether they should draft him or not because they're going to.
Yeah, they are.
And you're right. It does depend on the coach, and I just have to wait and see because whatever happens next season, I'm not getting my hopes up. Not going to get them much lower than they already are because the Raiders have me as a fan at personal lowest with the expectation.
They already got your future baby in baby clothes.
Exactly. I'm not. We actually have more 49er gear, believe it or not, than Raider gear because of the gifts. People think I'm a Niner fan.
A big, my friend.
Yeah. But which is fine. You know, whatever. They're a more successful team. Why not? What was I going to say? I just don't know if that with that offensive line, like, is it truly that bad? Or is it just coaching? Do they need another coach, and are they that much better? Because when I was watching Fernando Mendoza in that national championship game, there was the first 3 quarters, where he's not running for his life, but where they did not let him break out of the pocket, and Miami was just swarming him. So I'm sitting there going, God, this Raiders offensive line was just getting hounded, just beat every single game. I hadn't seen anything like it, where it was just straight up dominance, controlled at the line of scrimmage. I'm like, if this is what Fernando's looking like behind the offensive line of Indiana, I mean, you can have that fourth quarter. Sure, that was awesome. It defined his collegiate career, it defined the national championship, and really solidified why he was the Heisman Trophy winner. But I don't see that type of play happening at the NFL. I don't see whoever the next coach is running a quarterback draw on 4th down and Mendoza breaking tackles so they can get into the end zone like he's Josh Allen. I just don't see that happening. So that's where I was like, ugh, God, if they draft him, they better beef up that offensive line or else it could get ugly. But they have time to do it. It's just, I was watching that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that
made just unbelievable. Like
what's that?
The throws that he made, like the sideline pass to Becker, I think.
Becker kind of bailed him out a little bit too with some of those throws. But yeah, I mean, like for the most part, Fernando Mendoza has been amazing this season. I just don't know if it's going to translate as well. I'm not going to say he's a bust. I just think that when you draft first overall, this is where I'm kind of getting like a little too scouty or, like everything's based on the combine. It's not. But when you have the first overall pick, you kind of want, not that he's lived up to expectations, but Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams or Andrew Luck. And there's not that guy. But maybe Fernando Mendoza is just talented enough through his enthusiasm of football and the way he approaches the game that maybe that's enough, where you don't need a generational talent. You're fine with a Brock Purdy type. And it does sound like the more that I read reports, it sounds like your next head coach of the Raiders is going to be Clint Kubiak. It's only a matter of time. When the Seahawks season is over, he'll sign on. I saw Jordan Schultz, our guy, Starbucks. He saying that the Raiders, the connection with Tom Brady, him doing the games with the Seahawks the past 2 weeks, that's all the reason for him to hire him and following him around and seeing the offense, firsthand. So Yeah, I'm anticipating that one. That I guess Jesse Minter was close to, it was a serious candidate, and he took the Ravens job today. So yeah, I think it's going to be Clint Kubiak in a couple weeks here. We'll see.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that too. Also, though, along with some of these trade rumors, like Justin Jefferson to the 49ers, Florio threw this one out there the other day, and rumors with Florio. But he's not the only one. Have you heard anything about the Ravens having a riff with Lamar Jackson to the point where they could trade with the Raiders to get the first overall pick?
Read about it. Yeah.
What do you think about that? Are you buying into that? Like, I know things are crazy in the NFL now where anything that has smoke could actually happen, but I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm not going to buy into that. But if you're telling me that the Raiders can score a 2-time MVP who can alleviate any concerns that you might have with the offensive line, and you pair that up with a running game and seeing his connection with Mark Andrews, I'd assume that it'd be an even better connection with Brock Bowers. Sure, you'd have to find him some wide receivers, and Jackson would be going back to square one, where it felt like the Ravens were searching for that one receiver who could take the top off the defense, and they never really found him. But I'd be into it if it was actually a possibility. I saw it, but I don't know.
I think every Raider fan would be in on that. They would sign off on that. Yes, 100%. When you're competing in that division,
I know there's one that's not.
Who?
Spit out.
He's not a Lamar guy.
I brought it up, and he's like, "Come on." He's all in on Mendoza, man.
Oh, hold on. Where he doesn't believe it, or he'd rather have Mendoza than Lamar.
I didn't really get a gauge of that. It was more of a walking. Like a walk, it was like a drive-by take.
Yeah, okay.
I
think if it's on the table where the Ravens come to you and say, "Hey, we'll give you Lamar for a first," you're like, "Yeah, done."
Yeah.
We're trying to beat Patrick Mahomes twice a year.
Yeah,
and he usually loses to him, but we'll take it. You have a chance. Trying to beat Justin Herbert, Bo Nix. But I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen at all because Jesse Minter's the new head coach. And that's not to help Lamar Jackson. That's to help the whole team to get over the hump and have that Mike McDonald effect on the team that they had once upon a time. If they hire Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator, it sounds like that's Lamar's guy, the guy that he wants really bad. So if you see that news break soon, then I think Lamar's staying. And I think Lamar's staying regardless. Like, they're not going to trade away their franchise quarterback. I think they fired John Harbaugh for him. So I think he's staying.
I don't think they're going to do anything.
No, neither do I.
Especially with how professional he's been handling these last 2 years. Playoffs ends on a Mark Andrews drop. Talked about their connection, but it ended on a Mark Andrews drop. It ends on just a unbelievable play with the rookie kicker at the end of a game in the regular season. And it's just, I think the Ravens want him as the quarterback. He is the type of player that you want as the quarterback. I do not understand why they would let him go if they did. That'd be even more confusing than the John Harbaugh thing. Jesus, you let go your head coach and your quarterback?
No, that wouldn't make a lot of sense. And I don't think you could sell Ravens fans on, hey, we got rid of Lamar, but you got Fernando Mendoza. Nice.
Yeah.
And, I think the Raiders would sign off on that move. But then again, it kind of shows like they're just trying to do a quick fix again, where they have a lot of problems. And just trading for Lamar Jackson, you're down the first overall pick, but you have a franchise quarterback, and you have one of the best quarterbacks in football. So, yeah, you say yes to that, but I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think it's going to happen. All right, as far as actual games being played of football, we have 2 conference championship games this Sunday, one that's really good and one that's like, it could be good, but because of the quarterback injury, I don't know. So before we pick these games, Steven, just your level of interest when it comes to New England and Denver. I mean, at the end of the day, it's football, and I'm going to watch. And I think Raiders fans hate this matchup because it's 2 teams that you hate, and the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. Jarrett Stidham, we saw him years ago play against the 49ers as Raiders quarterback. He can be really good. And he was good enough for one game, and I don't remember what he did the next week against the Chiefs. But it's just hard for me to believe that he can actually do this in a playoff game. It's kind of like not the same thing because this guy's played before, but similar to Connor Cook. Just, go out there, first time ever. You haven't taken a snap all season, and now go be the savior. But then again, I do believe that he's been in Sean Payton's system for a long time now, and maybe he could play well. But I have a hard time believing the Broncos can win this game with him at quarterback. The defense got to play out of their minds. They don't have a strong running game either. I haven't heard if J.K. Dobbins has been activated for this game. Probably not. But they only rush for, I don't know how many yards, but I think their leading rusher last week was Bo Nix. So I have a hard time thinking that Jarrett Stidham could do enough for them to win this game.
I do too. It'd be crazy if he managed to actually win this. It'd be insane. The only difference between him and Connor Cook is Connor Cook was, a rookie, and getting his first action in a wild card game against a J.J. Watt led Houston Texans team. Not very fun. But I don't know. The Stidham thing is interesting because you hear so much about the players hyping him up, and I think there's some pundits out there who think that he's could be even better than Bo Nix, which I just don't believe. But putting in a backup, yeah, of course, it's a long. Like I don't think anyone could say with 100% certainty that a backup's going to come in and win a conference championship game for you. I think that'd be insane.
It's happened before, but then again, it's happened where it was leading up to the playoffs, like Nick Foles, Jeff Hostetler. This is different. This is all right. You win this game, you go to the Super Bowl. I think it's a lot to ask of his name already, Jared Stidham. Yeah. But I think that I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he plays well to start. Like Sean Payton's a great offensive play caller, so he could scheme it up for the first 15 and score on the Patriots on their first drive. But then later on, does it get more difficult as Mike Vrabel catches on? So I have a hard time believing they're going to win this game. And it kind of sucks where I didn't believe in either of these teams for the majority of the season, but it would have been nice to see Bo Nix versus Drake May, and we're just not going to get that. As far as the NFC Championship game, I'm excited. I know 49er fans hate this matchup. It's funny how Raider fans would hate the AFC Championship game and the Niner fans hate the NFC Championship game. The first two matchups were amazing. Even though Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions the first time, they still had a chance to win that game. And then the Thursday night games all time. Maybe the best game this season. If you want to debate that with take off the playoff games, just regular season games, the 49ers and Bears game. But I'm sure the Rams are chomping at the bit to play this team again. They were up 30-14 in the fourth quarter, blew the lead, an all-time 2-point conversion that some debate if it was a 2-point conversion. They got it right, but I don't know if you should have made that call. And the Seahawks going down the field, Sam Darnold redeeming himself, scoring that touchdown, getting the 2-point conversion. I think the Zach Charbonnet injury is huge for them, but is just the Seahawks too much for any team right now? Is their defense so lethal? Have the Rams done enough these last 2 weeks? Has Matthew Stafford played well? I mean, he did against the Panthers. He did at times against the Bears. He got him in field goal range at the end there with some good throws, but are they playing their best football? So I love this matchup. I think this is 10 times better than Seahawks playing the Bears. So I'm excited for the third time around with Seahawks Rams.
Hell yeah, man. Of course. It's awesome.
All right, let's do it then.
I mean, you're not going to get it, but also we're not going to get another game like that Thursday night game. That's unprecedented, really. Like
it'll be hard to replicate that one, yeah.
Not a comeback of the proportion, but for it to, like you said, they were up, what was it? 30-14,
yeah.
Yeah. When they're up with that score and you get a return for a touchdown from Rashid Shaheed, another big-time run, and then that play to Zach Charbonnet, which really decided everything. Yeah, I don't think that we're going to get another game like that, but it's going to be a damn good one. And I don't know, when teams play each other for a third time, it's just, I don't think you're going to get a blowout like you did with the Niners, where it just seemed like they ran out of gas. It looks like the Rams are actually starting to, hit their stride. I thought, all things considered, against the Bears, even though they probably should have lost that game, they still looked good. And now you're getting it in a game. I haven't looked up the weather yet again. I probably should. But you're not going to be playing in, freezing temperatures in Seattle. So I'm feeling much better about this game. By the way, I've been looking up Connor Cook's LinkedIn ever since you've been talking. Just wanted to see what he's been up to.
And
He is a director of investments at a real estate investment company in Ohio.
good for
How about
him,
that?
man.
How about that?
Good for him.
Cooking the real estate game.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes things don't work out.
God,
Had a second
that's
career.
wild. That's wild. It's almost puzzling. Like
What?
just seeing like an old professional football player who's now just working a regular day job. I don't know what it is. Just seeing on LinkedIn, it's wild.
Most of the time, it is in real estate,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
kind of weird. Like I remember seeing a thing on like Tommy Maddox before he went to the XFL, like an old NFL Films thing where he was like in real estate as well. So you gotta lay on your feet, man. You gotta do something else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, should we do little wins or wangs when it comes to the conference championship games? Let's do it.
Right.
Alrighty. So here we go, just 2 games. Got the New England Patriots taking on the Denver Broncos. Patriots are 4.5-point favorites. 42.5, the over-under. What you got,
Yeah,
Steve?
laying the points with the Patriots, and I'll take the under. Pretty
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think Jared Stidham's going to do much against the Patriots defense. Broncos defense is good enough to hold him to the under, but the Patriots are still going to win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the Broncos defense comes out with their hair on fire. I think that, like I just said, Jared Stidham could do something in the first half, get some points on the board. I think it'd be a close game, but I don't think that there's enough offense from the Broncos standpoint. So give me the New England Patriots, lay the points, and I'll go under. Drake May's played well in these playoffs, and the defense has played really well, too, for New England. All right, then we got the NFC Championship game. Seattle is 2.5-point favorites, over under 47.
I don't know if I'm caught up in Stafford mania. Shout out to Guru. I got caught up in Garoppolo mania. I don't know if it's me getting caught up in Stafford mania just because, doing the MVP finalist stuff and just watching highlights of Stafford and seeing how damn good he was this season. I think this is the time where if there's going to be any, no, I mean, the Super Bowl could be the other game too, but if there's going to be any where Sam Darnold turns back into Sam Darnold and the one that can't win the big game, it could be this one. I just think the Rams are a little bit more well equipped to beat the Seahawks defense. Man, I see the Rams winning. And give me the over.
Yeah, you're not alone. I am taking the Rams too, man. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Zach Charbonnet injury, but I got a feeling that the Rams wanted this badly. And that's not like a feeling. Like, it's obvious. They were paying to lose that game. And they were lucky to win that game against the Chicago Bears, but they're just more experienced. I think that the defense is going to ask Sam Darnold to do a little bit more than what he had to do last week against the 49ers. They're just running with one guy as opposed to having a 2-headed backfield. Can they bottle up Jackson Smith-Njigba? This defense has been Jekyll and Hyde all season long, or really on the latter portion of the season for the Rams. But can they make enough big plays in this? And can they make Sam Darnold flustered where they did that a year ago? And they really did whatever week it was, just a couple weeks ago in that regular season matchup. And then they just kind of dicked around and lost the lead in that game. It all started with the Rashid Shaheed punt return. And then Sam Darnold was able to orchestrate a drive to tie the game up in the end. But I don't know if he's going to have that much success this time around. So, yeah, I just believe in Matthew Stafford. I believe in kind of the fairy tale ending here where it's going to be the Patriots and Rams, Boston versus LA once again. And I probably have to leave in the Rams' direction, and you might see Matthew Stafford retire and go off into the sunset. So, yeah, I'm going with the Rams, and I'm going over as well. So you and I have the same exact thing for both games. I guess we got to do a tiebreaker here, like a score. What do you got, Steven?
51. 51's the
51's
total.
the total?
27-24 is the final in favor of the Rams.
27-24. Okay. I'm going to go...
51.
No. I'll go...
Huh?
I'll go 47. Oh, that's exactly... I have to go over. I'll go...
Uh-oh.
Hang on here. You said 51. Damn it. I like that.
I'll go 50.
No. That's okay.
I'll take a Harrison Mevis missed extra point.
Good old Mevis a butthead. I'll go 54.
Okay.
I'll go 34-27. It's that much of a difference, but yeah.
Oh God, what's gonna be the final score? 52.5. Shit.
Yeah, that'd be shitty. All right, yeah. So there you go.
Luckily, it's not possible, Derek. So we're fine. I think we're in agreement here with what.
Luckily, it is not possible to have a combined score of 52.5. You're right about that one, Steven. All right. So there you go. Those are our picks for conference championship weekend. All right. Let's do a little jackass of the week. And I think you and I are in agreement here. But if you have a different one, Steven, let me know.
Yeah. I'm struggling to pick the jackass of the week from this ordeal, from this situation that happened. Because it was a situation that happened with two tennis players. And I think if I'm going to choose a jackass out of the week out of anyone, it's not between the two tennis players, but rather the umpire of the tennis match.
Okay.
Did you see what happened at the Australian Open last night by any chance?
I have not.
So Naomi Osaka, right? Like, you ever heard of her?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, everyone knows Naomi Osaka, probably one of the most popular players on the tour, right? So during her second round match against a veteran, Sorana Cirstea, the in-between serves, right? It's usually silent. You a big tennis guy, Derek? Can you watch tennis?
Not lately, no.
Yeah. So in between serves, when they're bouncing the ball, getting a feel for it, in between serves, it's silent. Crowd keeps quiet. Usually it's the time when everyone's being told to shush. But Naomi Osaka, as she was in between serves, was pumping herself up. She was talking to herself. She was saying, come on, come on, come on, come on. I wasn't saying it in that tone of voice, but come on. She was pumping herself up.
Okay.
And Cirstea took exception to that. And she basically stopped before she was about to serve. She looks at the umpire and says, "You're just going to allow that? I'm trying to serve here." And she's talking like that's allowed. And the umpire just totally shut her down, completely shut her down. And it's just like, yeah, not a hindrance. What's it to you? It's like, I'm the one serving and I'm complaining to you. That's why it's a hindrance. I'm saying it's a hindrance. How are you going to tell me how I feel? Now, if you talk to some people who might not be Osaka fans for whatever reason, they would probably say she'd be the jackass of the week for this one. But I'm going to go with the umpire. But the thing that really went viral, though, was Osaka after the match. She would later apologize for this, by the way. I'll say that. She would later apologize, but tensions kind of got a little high at the end of the match.
She was mad about it, but
Whoa.
okay, sorry, she was mad about it, but
Ooh.
It's okay? You come on 15 points?
Yeah, you haven't got to call your address.
So I can go 15 points?
Between third,
Yeah, can I go come on and talk? Next split?
you're not serving yet, so it's not a hindrance to you. This is okay.
My friend. Anyway. So there you go. That pretty much happened. Do you want to continue to play on here?
Yeah, I want to hear her rebuttal to that whole thing. Where she said it's the same thing at the beginning?
Yes, pretty much.
Well-
There's one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Competitor, she came to play tonight. What did it take to get through that one?
apparently a lot of come-ons that she was angry about, but whatever. She's a great player. I think this was her last Australian Open, so okay. Sorry she was mad about it, but
Damn crowd.
So you're saying the ump is a jackass,
Yes.
but you're not sure about that.
Not entirely sure. There's someone who's a jackass in this situation, but I don't want to say it to the players because both of them make compelling arguments. It's not a hindrance to ya.
Is it in reality? Is it Osaka who's the jackass?
Maybe.
Is she not allowed to say "come on"? Like, what is the issue there? Like, John McEnroe did this shit all the time.
Yeah, but not in between serves. Like after the point, that it's fine. Like she wasn't taking exception to her saying "come on" after winning the point. It was in between serves. Like
So when
as,
she
you're
was
trying to, as you're trying to focus while you're bouncing the ball up and down.
Okay. I'm not well versed in tennis to have a strong opinion on this, but
you don't need to have an opinion. But
no, I mean, it's interesting though.
There's someone who's a jackass in this situation.
Yeah. I you know what? I don't have an opinion on this because I don't know tennis very well, but I could see both arguments being valid.
Yeah. I think it's just the umpire. I wish the umpire had a thicker Australian accent, though. You can serve, mate. What do you mean? It's not a hindrance to you.
Come on now. Wasting everybody's time. My jackass of the week is Terry Pagula.
Oh,
the owner of the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, yeah, father of the third-ranked player in the world in tennis.
Oh, there you go. So they fired Sean McDermott, and you and I both agree it was time to do that. But this press conference was awkward as hell, and doesn't make me feel good about the Buffalo Bills going forward with this ownership group. I trust Josh Allen. And I think he has a fairly good team. They need to make improvements on the defensive side of the football and get him a wide receiver. But this owner, like nothing makes me laugh more than just a loud, obnoxious owner. And this wasn't even as bad as like some people had a problem with Steve Bisciotti and his press conference a couple weeks ago when they let go John Harbaugh. But this just seemed like a bitter old fan in Terry Pagula. If you got the clip, Stephen, yeah. So this is Brandon being asked about Keon Coleman this season. Who's, I remember when he was drafted, you and I played the clip of him talking about his coats, and he was a top prospect when it came to being a wide receiver. And this year he had some run-ins where he was late to practice, he was a healthy scratch, but now they're talking about his future with the team. And Brandon Bean is asked about Keon Coleman, and Terry Pagula has to chime in and give his 2 cents on the whole thing.
Yeah, can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
Thank you so
Taking
much.
some heat for it for some reason. Can we play the next clip that I gave you?
Oh, well, God damn it.
Sorry.
Oh, I wasn't ready for this.
The reason why he's getting some heat for it is because it seems like to me that Brandon Bean wanted to draft this guy. And it could be that Sean McDermott told him a long time ago that he wants Keon Coleman. But when you're doing documentaries where it chronicles your time in the war room, picking the next player for the Bills, it seems like you want this guy.
Basically, when I went to bed that night, I was like, it's Keon unless someone just blows us away. We didn't feel anything was attractive enough for us to pass up on Keon.
All things considered. Get the guy who's shows the best fit. Yep.
I know this might be obvious, but so tomorrow, who we picking?
We're just going to keep trading more. We're going to get 14 fifths. Barring someone offering us something stupid, we'll take Keon Coleman.
Now, just because that clip has resurfaced doesn't necessarily tell the whole story where Sean McDermott could have been advocating for Keon. However, it's a bad look when the owner talks about a player currently on the roster saying like, well, I didn't want him. The guy to my left didn't want him. So the only person to blame is the guy that we just fired. I don't think that's fair. I think it's a terrible look for Terry Pagula, and I won't be the least bit surprised that Josh Allen comes out and is not happy about this, and then Terry apologizes to nobody but Josh Allen. That's what I think happens.
Yeah, it should happen, really, because Pagula took over pre-Sean McDermott, and 2017, that's when he revitalized the franchise. Like they're probably going to attribute it to Josh Allen, but no, it was Sean McDermott who did. Sean McDermott got there before Josh Allen. Now, just because we thought that they didn't need him anymore, I think it was because time had run its course, not because of McDermott's impact on the city or that he was just a terrible person and they need to move on from him. And he's a terrible evaluator of players. Like, no, it just felt like they needed a new voice. And I would be surprised if they were going to continue moving forward with him because of the lack of success that they've had. But to just come off so ungrateful for what Sean McDermott did. And you could say whatever you want in that press conference about Sean McDermott, anything that might be propping him up where you're singing his praises. But in this day and age, the one thing that you're going to say, blaming this wide receiver pick, this wide receiver who didn't show up to practices, I guess, or showed up late to meetings and has kind of been a bit of a headache. Like, that's the clip that everyone's going to look at, no matter what you say. So it's just, that was bad, man. That's so bad.
It was really bad.
You know?
And the owner came across as a guy that's so distant from the team, even though he's there in the war room. It's just like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, you ever had somebody that stuck up for you where you wish they didn't, where they're just talking out of their ass and you're like, hey, I can handle this. You don't need to do that for me right now. Like, I wish Brandon Beane was able to do that because I feel bad for him. I think he's a good GM. And people are throwing out this stat that he's only drafted 2 Pro Bowlers after Josh Allen. I'm like, yeah, but whatever. Like, talk about the playoff appearances. Pro Bowls are whatever these days. You can talk about, you can bring up that stat for a lot of GMs, but this whole notion that he should have been fired too and shouldn't have been elevated to president of football operations, I disagree with that because at the end of the day, he did draft Josh Allen, so he's going to get a lot of credit for that. And it seems like too much credit, though, from this owner, but the owner comes across as such like a fanboy where they're asking Brandon Beane, why'd you lose this game? And he just comes out of nowhere on the microphone and goes, because of a bad call. Because he's pissed off about the Brandon Cooks call. Chill out, dude. Okay, we get it. You're upset. And then he's so contradictory where they asked him initially, why'd you fire Sean McDermott? He said, because of this playoff loss. And they're like, so you fired him because he lost a playoff game? Well, no, it's a multitude of things. It's the loss to the Chiefs. It's the loss because of a missed kick. It's like, okay, well, then you're talking on both sides of your mouth because you're saying it's one isolated playoff loss.
Yeah.
And then it's all these losses. So bottom line is, I don't think there's a downfall of the Bills. I saw that in the chat here earlier. Rocket Harris says there might be a Bills downfall. I disagree. I think that they just needed a new voice in the room, and that probably, in my opinion, will be Brian Daboll. But the owner just looks like a jackass this week. Bottom line.
I agree, and I like your pick for that.
Thank you.
And I'm also going to say, like, just a harsh reminder that Pagula and the rest of the owners are the ones that run the NFL.
Yep.
Roger Goodell worked for people like that guy.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, 100%. All right, last one here, pop culture catch-up. Sinners leads all films. Actually, it's a record for 16 nominations. I like Sinners. Sinners is a really good movie. I don't know if it's worthy of 16 nominations. It will win some awards, probably like a Best Original Screenplay. Props to Ryan Coogler, Oakland Guy, for getting nominated. Best Director, Best Original Screenplay. Michael B. Jordan for playing 2 roles. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture, though. I don't think that's going to happen.
No. But nominations are just nominations.
Yeah, you're right.
If you go down the list of them, you can't really. I don't think you could argue that they shouldn't be nominated for that category because it was just a really, really well made movie.
It was.
I don't think it's going to be a Best Picture nom, but I'm such a big fan.
Winner, you're saying?
I am. What's that?
Or best picture winner, you're saying?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to win it, but whatever success goes Ryan Coogler's way, I'm all for it. You watch any interviews with this guy?
I have, yeah.
He's so humble. I am a Ryan Coogler fan. Even the Amy Poehler podcast, Golden Globe winner. Yeah, he was on it, and it's so funny hearing him talk like about the Bay Area. And Amy Poehler has no idea what he's talking about. He's like, yeah, so I moved from Richmond down to Berkeley, right? Then I went to St. Mary's, and it was actually really cool. Earlier today, we had on KCBS, like I actually heard on that podcast, like his professor, Rosemary Graham, who she had like all her students. She had a creative writing class. She had all her students turn in this assignment, and she noticed like there's something special with his assignment, and she said that he should think about writing screenplays in Hollywood because it was just so well thought out. We had her on as a guest today.
Oh, nice.
And so cool just hearing like his story. So any success that goes his way, I'm all for it. But my favorite answer that he had in that Amy Poehler thing, he was talking about football, and and he was like he's like
big football guy, huh? Football,
yeah, because he was a receiver, a star receiver at St. Mary's, and what did he say when she asked like who his football team is? She's like, I know there was 2 football teams out there when you were growing up. Did you have a favorite? And he's like, no, man. When it comes to football, man, I'm an agnostic, man.
See, he wasn't a Raider fan. That's surprising.
Yeah, I'm an agnostic. It's like
fair enough.
Agnostic when it comes
agnostic
to football.
That's not a bad line. It's not a bad line.
So good. Either that, it might have been agnostic or amphibious.
Oh, agnostic makes sense. Amphibious is kind of weird.
It was probably agnostic, but anything that he can win, yeah. Again, man, it's just probably not going to get Best Director. It seems like it's Paul Thomas Anderson's.
Yeah,
time.
I think one battle after another is going to get a lot of Oscars. Yeah,
it's going to sweep. But I do think we're going to see old Shalamala Ding Dong win the old Best Actor award. I think he seems to be the far and away favorite.
You said that last year too, and I said it. I said I don't think so.
What was it for last year?
Last year was what was the Bob Dylan movie?
Did I say he'd win Best Actor for that?
Yeah, because of all the campaigning he was doing by going on SNL and actually performing as Bob Dylan.
Damn, I need to take inventory of what I actually say.
Well, you were right. I remember years ago, you and I had a bet where I thought that Christian Bale was going to win for Vice. And then you were like, no, dude, it's Rami Malek. And you were right about that one.
Well, yeah. I'm going Chalamet. I'm going all in on Chalamet again. He's an eclectic individual, by the way.
He definitely, yes. That's the right word. I would also say I don't know if he's going to win it, though. Because it sounds like Ethan Hawke actually might win for Blue Moon.
Yeah, that's definitely been picking up steam. That's good.
We got a long time until the Oscars. All right, 9:00 seems good enough for me, and I'm tired, and you're tired as well. All right, anything else, Steven?
Pop culture catch-up wise,
no, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the floor for that one. Go for it.
I mean, when it's Oscars, you know what I mean? Dude, I just started watching The Traitors. I'm all in.
Yeah, good show.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, easy to watch.
Nice.
Just an easy watch, man. Like, and I do want to watch more of the ones with celebrities because I know them like more. These ones, it has like 5 who are from reality TV and then 5 who are just regular people. But yeah, The Traitors, like the whole setup of it, like the host.
So it's not a scripted show then, huh?
No.
Okay.
No, it's scripted with Alan Cumming, who is the host.
But it's a reality TV show.
But it's a reality TV show. And there's a lot of pomp and circumstance around it, but it's kind of mindless, but it's also like, ooh, what would you do in here? What would you do with this scenario? It's really good. I enjoy it.
Is The Rip worth it? Because I've contemplated watching that, but I don't know if it's just a movie because it's on Netflix that I would put on or it's actually worth it.
I'd say it's a solid choice if you don't have anything else that you want to watch. I'd say it's a solid like security blanket if you're doing that thing where you're just scrolling through and you don't know what to watch. Like I'm not saying you should make it a priority, but like if you're scrolling through and you find something else, you should probably watch that if you want to.
Yeah.
But if you just can't find anything, you're just like, all right, well, I'll go with the rip. That's what we did on Friday or whatever it was. Good little movie.
I think it's going to play because it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, but it just seems like it's just a generic cop movie that's on Netflix.
It's not all that generic. It's different.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I've been debating that or Begonia the last few nights of what I want to watch. I hear Begonia is good but intense, so
Yeah,
I'll probably
always
got
is
to be in the right movie. Got to be in the right mood for that one.
It always is with that Janos Stopamopoulos or whatever his name is.
Yatir Gross Matos.
Yatir Gross Matos. Robert Beal.
Yeah. And on that note, all right, buddy, we will see you on. What do you think, Monday, Steven? We can react to these games.
Monday. Let me look. We're at a time now where you got a bunch of doctor appointments.
No, I get it. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Let me see here. I mean, we could discuss later on. We don't need to do this right now.
All right. We'll play it on
yeah,
Monday.
I got a doctor thing on Monday.
Never mind. All right, we'll do Tuesday. Tuesday it is.
Thanks, man.
No problem. All right, everybody. We will see you then. To everybody in the YouTube chat, to Pat H. What up, Pat H. in his crap section? We got Otis Bird. We got Rocka Nuera. We got it's a segment on dirty work. We got who else? I saw AJ Cruz. I saw Skills. Otis Bird is the word. Don Peralta. And I believe that is it. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys on Tuesday to react to the conference championship. Steven, say what you always say.
Crap section.